skill I learned in prison, I can take and turn a profit with. Here's my Featherwood. Yeah, we out here at Prescal. Sun's going down. Beautiful day. This is what it's about. Love you, baby.
Hey, Hardcore Smitty here, Degenerate Nation. Second episode, we finally made it. I know we said we'd be here every once a week. However, life got in the way, and but we're here now, and I'm hoping that we can do a little better job this time than we did the last time. It was the first episode. We're still working the bugs out, but I appreciate everybody who tuned in and supported us for episode 1, and here's episode 2, and hopefully, we can gain a couple more followers as this thing goes along, and hopefully we get better as we do it. Also, we are going to finish the interview we did with Rooster, and so he'll be in here when he gets off work tonight, and we'll finish that interview. And I need to clear a couple things up. I said that my blog was hcsmitty at blogspot.com. That's not correct. It is White Trash Legend at blogspot.com. White Trash Legend being the title of the memoir I'm writing, and hopefully they'll be published within a year. And hopefully the 2 other books that I've written already, I'll be able to get published as well. And so be looking out for those guys. One is called Down, it's a novel, and Max Out, it is a novella, so it's a shorter story. So that might be published within one of the other ones, maybe at the end of White Trash Legend or the end of Down. So like kind of like a bonus thing. But we're going to finish the interview we did with Rooster, and also I'd like to give a shout out to Pedro Costo. He was supporting us, and really help he's given me, and check out his show from innocent child to convicted killer. Also, I want to get some prayers for Sean Allen. He suffered a motorcycle accident, and he could use some prayers. You guys keep him in your prayers, keep your thoughts, and send good vibes his way. And also Brian DeRoss. He is in the hospital. He's getting heart surgery, open heart surgery. He already had it, and he's healing up now. And this guy did a bunch of time in prison for he did 15 years for having some baking soda. But it boiled down to they found trace amounts of cocaine in the baking soda. Gave the guy 15 years, and so he's out now. He's turned his life around. He's working. He's doing great. So get some prayers for him. And I want to say congratulations to my man Vince Scozio. This guy, he went to prison one time, and that was enough for him. You know what I mean? Did that bid and never went back. Never touched heroin again, and he never ever went back to prison. But they did him dirty. We were in a halfway house together on pre-release, and he seen parole there, had a job. He was doing everything he was supposed to do, and they give him a hit, for nothing, and send him back to 9 months. He gets back to prison, like, what are you doing here? He said, yeah, you tell me. So let him right back out, and he walked it off, and actually he wanted to parole him early because he was doing so well. But he's getting married, and so I want to say congratulations to him, and he's an inspiration to all of us. So anyway, we're going to take a break here, wait for Rooster, and we'll be back. Thanks for tuning in to episode 2, Degenerate Nation. Hey, how's everybody doing? Hardcore Smitty, we're back. Rooster's here, and we're going to continue with the interview that we started on episode 1. And so we're not going to be doing a tattooing thing this time again, but we will get back into doing that, and we're going to do a lot of that stuff. Doing interviews while we're doing stuff, like working on motorcycles, tattooing, or we're traveling and stuff, we'll take a bike trip and go somewhere, maybe at different events, things like that, and concerts, whatever. But we're going to be this thing's going to be mobile, but we're going to get started off here. And Rooster here is he is a partner here with me at the Degenerate Nation and stuff, and kind of like give you guys the overview of what we want to do here is we want to be able to help other guys who are still in prison and guys who are coming out of prison creatively. A lot of people in prison are very talented people. There's lots of guys in there who are musicians, authors, artists, guys build cars and stuff. They build motorcycles, and they rap, they write songs, all kinds of different creative things. You know what I mean? Because prison, you're very bored, so you tap those creative outlets and stuff. So, and that's a big part of recovery, is finding things that that you're interested in doing, something that you like that replaces the fast lifestyle and the other things that entertained you. So I find it for me, man, he's playing my guitar, tattooing, drawing, working on my Harley, building a motorcycle, whatever. That stuff entertains me, fulfills me, So it's that peace, that I need. And Rooster here is an amazing guy when it comes to the written word. He knows the English language like nobody does that I know, anyway. And he's a great editor, and he loves doing it, So he's been editing my book as I've been writing it, and he's also written a book called Low Man. I've read it, and it's a great book, and so we're going to be putting that out. So we want to start a publishing company. We're also going to do recording, everything, us all together, guys who have been in prison, guys who are from the streets, guys who have been addicts, whatever, people who struggled. So we're going to come together and we're going to do this thing ourselves. We don't need, in this day and age, to have a big company do it for us. We can do it all grassroots style, DIY, hardcore punk. That's what they did. They made their own record companies because no one would sign them. So, we're doing that here. So we want to be able to get guys send their artwork from prison to us. We'll have a platform to sell it for them. And they'll be able to get the money. And the same with with manuscripts. They send us their manuscripts. Hey, he'll edit it. We'll publish it, and then they'll collect the money. And of course, we'll hit something for doing our end too. So everybody wins. So it's a great thing. So I hope you guys will stay tuned with us. We're going to show you some of the clothing and stuff that we have. But we're going to get the interview now. Back here with Rooster and stuff. So, what is the biggest thing that you found that's holding you back from change?
Well, change, I think there's a lot of misconceptions about institutionalization.
Right.
And I don't like using the word, but it's true.
Yeah.
So when you've been institutionalized for so long, such as myself, I'm used to a routine.
Yeah.
And that doesn't change. Doesn't change day after week after month and year. So, I think subconsciously that I'm resistant to change because of that.
Yeah.
There's an old saying, people say, nobody likes change, but it's true.
Right.
It is true because I become comfortable.
The devil you know.
Yeah, the devil I know, exactly. I become comfortable. Now that doesn't mean that I can't function because I don't have a time that I go eat.
Right.
Or something like that. Or, so...
It creates anxiety.
Yeah, it does. And there's a lot of anxiety to deal with. There's a lot of, and I don't want to use the word overwhelming because that's not the right thing. It's not overwhelming.
Yeah.
I can handle it, but it's different. So subconsciously, I think that is the resistance to change for me. Subconsciously.
Yeah, when you come out of prison, you're kind of frozen in time when you're in there, and the world's not frozen in time. It just keeps moving. You know what I mean? I remember getting out and there was all the smartphones. You know what I mean? I never even had a cell phone. I didn't know how to text or anything. So, there's that, playing catch up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get it. You know what I mean? There's that. And, and then the routine where you told when to go to the bathroom. You know what I mean? Well, not so much that, but, you're told when to eat, when you're going to, the lights are going to be out. And, the time to get up is the count time, all that stuff. And then out here, you don't have that. So, hey, man, wait a second. You know what I mean? I get it.
Just tonight, I went to, was on my way to this interview. And, I stopped at the get-go. I look at my PayPal and I got 11 cents on there. And I remember I have $20 Apple Cash, but I don't know how to use it. I sat at that store forever. Now, I wasn't ashamed or embarrassed, but inside I was like, man, this is a lot of change.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to use Apple Cash. I didn't know how to pay with my phone.
Right.
One guy showed me, and then there was college kids in there, but I got really insecure. I thought, well, I wonder if everybody's talking about me. I wonder if everybody's waiting on me. And no, people were helpful.
Yeah, sure.
They were.
Yeah.
Very, very helpful.
Yeah, I find out people, if they know something, they they want to let you know that they know it. You know what I mean? They're happy to share it because if someone's good at something or knows a lot about something, then hey man, I know that. Let me show it to you. You know what I mean? I like to tell people, show people that something I'm good at, and they want to know something about it. I help them with it, sure.
Yeah.
You know.
And I didn't feel belittled or talked down or condescended upon.
Yeah.
Let's use the right words for that. I didn't feel like that. I felt helped.
People are a whole lot kinder and better than we give them credit for a lot of times.
So I got some fresh fruit and some nature drinks.
Nice. Okay. All right. So, what was the catalyst for you wanting to make a decision to change in the first place? Because it's easy to stay the same way we were.
I was tired, man. I was tired of missing all the important rites of passage for my children, and then major events like my father's death, and things like that. My daughter's marriage. I never been to a wedding. I would have loved to have been. That would have been my first one. So I got tired of missing those things. That was the catalyst right there. At one point, I was willing to do time for this reckless lifestyle that I was living.
Yeah.
And that's just selfish, and it hurts people.
Sure.
And I was tired of hurting the people that I love.
Yeah, because it doesn't hurt self. We think, we're not hurting nobody but ourselves, but,
Right.
Yeah, people are affected.
That was the catalyst for change.
Okay. Well, it's a good catalyst. I mean, you don't need, has to be anything special. Whatever one works for you is a good one.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, what is life now? What's life like now that you made this commitment to change?
It's amazingly easy. It's amazingly easy. I thought it was going to... I have a tendency to complicate things. So I thought I was going to run the show in the change department. So I changed where I carried my wallet.
God laughs at that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I changed everything. The order that I do things in the morning ablutions.
Right.
Brush my teeth, change the order up.
Okay.
Do it different.
Yeah.
Change. I thought I was going to run the show, and that's just not how it happened.
Yeah, well,
I tried it, and it was difficult because I complicated it.
Yeah.
So it's just amazingly easy. If I don't resist the change and just go with it,
right,
then I'm very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. I found that when I'm living according to the way I'm supposed to be living, I'm in rhythm with life.
Yeah.
There's a flow to everything. There's a rhythm. And when I find that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and I'm treating people with kindness, and I'm living a good life, I get all these blessings and stuff. But also, man, things are so much easier. Everything just goes.
Yeah.
Even when there is hard times and struggles, it's okay because I know that I'm going to get through it. But it's only when I'm at that point that I'm living like I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
When I'm living, I'm living dirty, man, I'm catching everything, from all over the place. Yeah.
Someone used to say that, living dirty, to me a lot recently. Someone was close to me, and I like their way of life.
Yeah.
And I didn't like hearing it, but it's true. It's so true.
So, what are some of the benefits you've gained from working with others who've been where you are?
I'm going to tell you, it is supremely satisfying. I ran into a guy today. Where I work is industrial labor, and so that's where a lot of us start out. Industrial labor with shitty pay, and if you're willing to stick it out, then it pays off in the end because it's satisfying. So when I can point guys in the right direction and say, hey man, I worked in that department and it sucks.
Yeah.
I've walked 45 minutes to work every day.
Yeah.
And 45 minutes back, tired, late at night, dirty, and when I can let a dude know that I've been there and I stuck it out, and now I've got a couple of things, and I'm on this path to getting more things that I want in life.
Right.
To be happy. It's so satisfying to be able to help them guys out.
Yeah, it is. You know what I mean? And it's easy to receive help from people who've been where we've been. Because they know what they're talking about. They're authentic.
Oh,
you know what I mean? When someone, I know who's walked in my shoes and offers some advice to me, I want to listen to what they have to say because, I know that they know what they're talking about. If someone's trying to tell me how to live my life, you know what I mean, and has never walked in my shoes, you know what I mean, that's where this is not going to fly.
That's right. That's right. It's not to say that I won't listen to a professional or a clinically, a clinician or any of that, because they're a professional for a reason.
Right.
But there's a therapeutic value involved, and we've heard those things before. Therapeutic value of one man who's been here helping another, who's going there or is there.
Yeah.
It's priceless.
Right.
But I'll take hope from all sources. But what I get from guys like you had a guy, and we talked. He's a friend of ours.
Yeah.
That helped you immensely in so many ways.
Yeah.
And you pass on that knowledge and that those resources, anything from, and there's concrete things too, like the resources and all that. And here's how you do this, and here's where you get that.
Yeah.
And but things like taking a walk at night is one of the most coveted things.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know about that.
Yeah, taking a walk at night, you know, I mean, not out at night, so I get that. Okay, so, working with other people, man, and, that's what I wanted to do, you know what I mean, when I left prison, because I was doing that while I was inside. I worked in the therapeutic community, and so being a peer assistant there, you know what I mean, I tried to be the type of PA, you know what I mean, that who was didn't get above himself, you know what I mean. I was like, listen, like, you know what I mean, I am the same as you. You know what I mean, I have this job here, but like I'm still a prisoner, you know what I mean, I'm a convict. You know what I mean, that's what I am. I'm not, you know what I mean, nobody special. Like, we're the same. So I, relating to them on the same level. And I think, you know what I mean, that's what I wanted to do when I got out of here. So I went and took my test to become a certified recovery specialist, and then the forensic peer specialist. And it was kind of, it was depressing when I tried to get a job doing that. You know what I mean? I was turned away, because I didn't have a driver's license, and I guess maybe I have a little bit too many tattoos, a little too rough around the edges or something. However, you know what I mean. But that's what these guys are going through. The same thing. I mean, how many guys have gone through prison? And come out and have a good driving record. You know what I mean?
Right.
Your driving record usually goes around with your criminal record.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. And there's probably transportation. There was ways around me not having a license. However, they didn't want to address that. So that was disappointing in itself. But doesn't mean like I don't need them to do this thing, type of thing. You know what I mean? We don't need them. You know what I mean? Someone, overseeing us that have no clue on, what it's like anyhow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're getting insurance money, you know what I mean? And they don't care. It's all about money to them. We have a vested interest in this, so, yeah, it's a good thing, man, like helping other people, and like I said, blessings come from that.
Yeah, we receive by giving back.
Yeah.
I mean, and it just comes back tenfold.
Yeah.
And it might not be monetary.
Yeah.
Or anything like that, but
and most blessings aren't.
Yes, exactly.
Just monetary ones. I mean, you don't remember them anyway.
I used to think that money was the answer to all my problems.
Yeah. Well, it could fix a lot of things, but it's not the answer to everything.
Well.
But I'd rather be unhappy with the money.
Me too. Yeah, me too. I just
or happy with
the
money.
Wrong way, man. Man, where they keep money at the bank, so I went and got it.
Yeah.
I didn't know you had to open up an account and do it official. I thought you could just. I got some time for that one. It's called bank robbery.
Okay, so what would you like to do, like to benefit people that are still doing time?
Man, I like to provide. Like you said, my forte is I'm a word-oriented person.
Right.
So if that's how I can contribute, if a guy needs some editing done, I mean, I know men that have taught themselves English.
Right.
I was talking to a guy about Swahili today, asking him how hard it is to learn English. You know, and they want to write books too. They got stories too.
Oh yeah.
And they can't do it because they can't put it into words.
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah.
I can, without fail, every time.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. I mean, you definitely can. I mean, you could definitely put your story into words from. You've done it before.
I love it. Yeah, I started writing, and it's just, I mean, that's a bonus. I'm able to write on a creative level.
Yeah.
And I love doing it.
Sure.
But I like helping other people do it too.
Yeah.
Because people say, I wish I could do that. And I say, you can.
Right.
You can do it, man.
Sure.
I wish I could draw. You can draw.
Yeah.
Just focus.
Right.
You know. And so if I can help people do it, then I'd love to.
Right. You know, and if your story is interesting, I mean, you don't have to be a great writer. It's going to write itself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so, there's that. You mean, like, they have people for the editing process. You.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Yep. All right. So, Lincoln, some little more in the entertaining part here. Give us a short, crazy prison story. We all have one.
Yeah, I've got some funny ones. I've got some serious ones. Let's see. I think I'll go with. All right, I think I'll go with a funny one.
Okay.
So we're not allowed to tattoo, of course, and anything tattoo contribution. So now they've taken over the prisons effectively. Has gotten a bunch of guys in there that are looking at parole. So you don't want to lose your parole. So it's a big thing if you're breaking rules. So I got this celly in there, and he's ready to make parole. But I've tattooed him for the past 2 years. I tattooed this dude from his neck to his feet. And it's some of the best work I ever did because he was a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Right or wrong, how I tattooed how it comes out is dictated by how much I like the person. That's one of them. That's right or wrong. Some people say that's wrong, but no, man. So I like this dude a lot, man. So he's got some really good work on him. So he's watching. That's his job. That's his only job, is to watch for the CO to come, right? But he's also going to see the board that week. But this is his, he's willing to do this. So he's standing there watching out for the CO. And I got another dude. He's dead and gone now. Drugs. I'm tattooing him, and he's just in on parole violation. His brother is across the hall from us, across the tier. And he says, don't let my brother get caught, man. One of us needs to be home for mom right now, and it can't be me. So the pressure's on, man. We can't get caught. And the guy watching the door is my celly, and he's going to take the heat. That's the deal. He's going to take the heat. So here comes the CO. Instead of watching, he was reading his journal. And the CO comes walking up on us and opens up the door. So my celly, he gets so nervous, he starts farting. The guy that's back on parole violation that needs to be home for mom is under the bed. He's crawling, he's up under the bed. Now, this isn't what you think, this dank, dark dungeon with moss and lichens and all that growing on the walls. Our cells are clean, so my guy's under there, under the bunk, hiding behind a record box this big. And he's 150 pounds, big as me, 155. He's small enough, but he's hiding behind the box. Ryan's standing at the door, and he gets gas because he's nervous, so he gets the bubble guts, and he starts farting, and it stinks. This is an 8 by 10 cell, 8 by 12, whatever the dimensions are, it's small. And because Ryan's going to jail, just to the hole, and he's not going to get his parole and everything else, and that's why he's nervous, extremely nervous, right? I'm standing there. The cops look in there. Now, they don't smell the fart yet. They look in and they say, what's going on in here? Jackbooted, cowardly thugs that they were happened to be a search team that wasn't well liked or respected. Gets up there. Man, what's going on here? I said, well, you see it, boys. He said, uh-huh. And then the fart hits him. I started swinging the towel and waving this. I mean, and it stinks. It's bad. I mean, this is a small area. It's foul. It's offensive. When it hits you, you want to hit somebody, right? It stinks. It hits them. I said, come on in, boys. The water's fine. They're like, whoa. We're not going in there. We're not going in there. I said, nah, come on in. Tattoo gun sitting on the desk. I mean, it's obvious that we're breaking rules, man. We're good. We'll come back. What's this dog? Come on in, boys. Funny as hell, dude. Funny. So I got to tell this story probably 100 times already. Now, it's the fart to save the day.
Right on.
To save Ryan's parole, to save John from going. Yeah, he got to go home to his mom.
Yeah. Wow.
I wasn't going home yet, not for a while. So
I would have thought. Okay, now back to something a little more serious. Now, you know a little bit about gang life, right? So, why don't you tell the people, some of the pros and cons of this thing, what it's, kind of really about. Like, I myself, have never joined a gang, not to say I don't respect those guys, I do. However, it was just, it was never the right fit for me, with the people who were running these at the time, it was available to me. Same with the clubs here too, motorcycle clubs. I respect that whole lifestyle and everything, and I get it with the brotherhood and that kind of stuff, but I don't know firsthand what it's like being in one. So maybe you could shed a little light on this.
Well, first of all, I'll say they tell you to stay away from the 3 Gs. I tell any young buck that when you're going into prison, stay away from the 3 Gs. That's gangs, gays, and gambling. Okay, not in any respective order. They're equally it's good advice. Put it that way.
Yeah,
it's good advice. The gangs originally, they aren't what they once were. The politics of the gangs, and we know this, but they aren't what they once were. On the surface, most people think it's for protection, extortion, criminal activity. But the selling point is it's a family.
right.
That's the selling point for most guys, and that's what it is for most guys. It's a family.
Place to belong.
Yeah. The word family is used constantly, in,
Right.
For lack of a better word, a recruiting sense.
Yeah.
For lack of a better word.
Well, as people set that up regardless, either in a gang or not. You kind of form those familial units. You know what I mean? Within your friends, your peer group.
Yeah.
Even if you don't call it a gang, but there's always a structure like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, people are human beings that we tend to gravitate to that. We need it. So I get it. With the brotherhood thing and the family part of it.
Yeah. And for more practical reasons, you can look at economics. You can look at politics.
Yeah.
You can look at, when we speak about the politics of the yard, the politics of prison,
Right.
there's practical reasons now. This is on paper.
Right.
It always doesn't happen this way in reality. It doesn't always. So on paper, economically, any prison in America is a sociologic microcosm. Along with the sociologic microcosm, we've got the microeconomy.
Right.
So if it's all ran right and the heads of all the gangs meet and agree on pricing schedules for contraband, and I'm not talking necessarily serious contraband.
Right.
I'm talking about sandwiches,
Oh, yeah.
stolen from the kitchen, meat and shit like that too. That's considered contraband. So there's practical purposes, it sets the economy, and there's economic boosts and all that come in.
Right.
So there's practical reasons too. Protections along with it.
Yeah.
That's on paper. Doesn't always work that way. There's been a lot of things have been trivialized.
The drugs gotta make
The drugs
things up. Yeah.
Anything that has capacity to compromise one's integrity. If there's no room for weakness in your world, then there's no room for that. Whatever it is that has the capacity to compromise your integrity,
Yeah.
whether it's drugs or gambling or,
Right.
or whatever it is. Any vice. So, and many gangs don't tolerate that.
Right.
Many do now, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
I know, in California and stuff, the gangs have started. It was a way of protecting each other. You know what I mean? And at the time, there was a lot of racial tension when when the gangs had really started to form together. And I know there's a whole lot of white prisoners who were very, very happy that the Aryan Brotherhood exists because they just can't get attacked. They had people had to go through some channels to hurt them. Before they were fair game. You know, so now, I mean, with the politics as it is, I mean, so I mean, not to say you still can't get hurt, you still could get hurt, easily. However, you know what I mean, you can't be preyed upon as easily as it once was without authorization.
Yeah. I mean, there's got to be good reason. People become targets and victims when they deserve it.
Yes.
There's not a lot of senseless violence when it comes to the gangs. That's what a lot of
no, there's
politics
not.
are for.
Yeah, I've noticed that there's not a whole lot of senseless violence.
A lot of the politics and bylaws and laws are set in place to avoid personal beef, which leads to gang-wide warfare, bloodshed, possible loss of life. Right,
and most of the violence I've seen has been, within the gang taking care of their own members.
Absolutely,
absolutely. That's most of the violence that I've seen personally.
You police yourselves. Yourselves.
Right.
Just like it's an accountability thing on a large scale. Because there's consequences. There's all kinds. So it's back to the familial part.
Yeah.
There's a holistic approach to it. I mean, believe it or not, there's a lot of parallels with therapeutic community and the reasons for gangs.
Okay. Well, you hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
Pull each other up.
Realizing that what I do has the ability to affect everybody around me.
Sure.
Especially those who I represent or represent me.
Yeah. There's definitely some things that I learned in prison that translate well to the streets.
Yeah.
In there I always you are who you hang out with.
Yep.
So it's the same out here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So in there I only chose to keep myself, surrounded by people who are of good character. And, and on the street it should be the same.
Yeah.
Because, you can see what type of person I am by people I surround myself with. And also, you get, that what you got coming to you with the people you're around. So if you're hanging around with a bunch of suckers, guess what? You're going to get a bunch of sucker shit.
Yeah.
You're hanging around successful people, you know what? Success is probably going to come your way.
Yes. Yeah. And the what I do reflecting on everybody else that I walk shoulder to shoulder with, that can be a problem. If I go to a Supercuts in New England and get a haircut, which I haven't done in a long time, but to use to draw that parallel, if I go to Supercuts, I'm going to get the exact same haircut in California because it's a franchise.
Right.
And that can be a problem if I go to California and I don't get the same haircut. You know what I mean? Like, so there has to be the consistency. There has to be the bigger these small organizations get, the more problems there are.
Yeah.
And it's not a franchise anymore.
Yeah, I understand. I get that. Okay, so we're going to take a break here, and when we come back, we're going to show you some of the clothing we've been designing for our Degenerate streetwear. So you're going to be able to order this stuff here. We haven't had the website up yet. However, you can message us through here on YouTube, or you can get a hold of me at my email, which is the Reverend H.C. Smitty at gmail.com.
Does weddings too.
Yeah, I do weddings too. So yeah, I'm an ordained minister, and go figure. But anyway, you can order the stuff through me on that site. But our website will be up hopefully shortly. But when we come back, we'll show you some of the designs. And I want to thank Rooster for here and telling us his story and stuff. And be back. I'll show you guys some of the shirts that we've been working on here. So this is one here. If you guys get a better shot of that. So that's number one. This is one of our, we think it's going to be a big seller. It is we make pedos pray from the Degenerate streetwear. And this one here we think might be a real good seller as well. Long sleeve with the Degenerate streetwear on the front. It's got our D made with the brass knuckles. there on the sleeve. And on the back, this is Fighting Racism by Fighting Pigs. And it's got the Degenerate down the sleeve as well. And this is another one here with just another one about, making the pedos pray. And it's got the target on them. And we're going to take a lot of like iconic punk imagery and stuff and then put the Degenerate stuff on. So this shirt here actually is not finished. It's going to have the Degenerate name right above here, written in the Danzig style lettering. So this is a long sleeve shirt, and it'll also have a big one on the back. It's like this here is the classic Exploited skull with the Degenerate in it instead of the Exploited. And on the back, we've got that dude, Lemmy, the original Degenerate. This one here too, the OG stuff. We're gonna do a lot of like Dickie style work shirts and stuff like that, and it's got this one's got my dude here, and no, this one doesn't. This is about that life, and it's got the 6'4" Impala and the Degenerate on there, and the Caddy logo. And okay, this one here is the White Trash Legend. This here is the Crucified, and it's got the Degenerate on there with the Iron Cross. This one here, this is a nice one. This is one of my favorites here. Fuck around and find out. And it's got the Degenerate on the sleeves as well, and the White Trash Legend on the back. So those are just a few things we're getting, and we don't know if all these are going to last. This is going to be a limited edition, so we're going to drop them, see how they sell, and once they don't sell, done, put the new ones in. So, okay, hey, that's it for this week. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and like I said, pray for Moby. He had open heart surgery, and congratulations to Vince, he's getting married. And also pray for Sean Allen, who had a motorcycle wreck. And if you're struggling, you need a place to go to, somewhere safe. Infinite Possibilities from my friend Kurt Houston. You can find him on the internet. It's good transitional housing, 3-quarter house for someone who's wanting to get a new start. So if you just come out of prison, just come out of rehab, and you're homeless, looking for somewhere to go safe, Infinite Possibilities is your place. And check out From Innocent Child to Convicted Killer, Cuzzo Costo on YouTube. See you guys. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this week's episode of the Degenerate Nation. So, we're going to show you guys some designs here of the t-shirts we have out and available. So, if you guys want to just pick one of these designs here, you'll be able to reach us at the email and the telephone number that's right across the screen. So, just leave a message, tell us what design you want, and make sure you leave a callback number so we can work out any deals with you. And remember to use this promo code, the fart that saved the day, and that will get you another 10% off your purchase. So tune in hopefully next week. We won't be another 2 weeks, and we'll be back with another episode of Degenerate Nation. Rebel, create, dominate.